A very good evening to you. On tonight's episode, we showcase a 3-on-3 basketball tournament raising money for charity, go in depth with a fight club here in the Valley, and of course, crown this week's Player of the Week. All that and more right now. It's Game On. Welcome to Game On. I'm Austin Enning.
And I'm Donald Woods.
Well, Donald, usually when you think about basketball, people think of the NBA or March Madness, but one particular charity here in Las Vegas is using 3-on-3 basketball for a good cause. Reporter Jordan Harrison tells us more.
UNLV hospitality students put together a basketball tournament to help raise money for a nonprofit organization, the Shade Tree.
The Shade Tree is an organization for sheltered, battered women and children, and also for their pets. So what we're doing at this event is we're raising money to help support them.
The Hoops for Hope event charged a $5 fee to all participants. Players could pre-register or sign up the day of the event to either play in a game of 3-on-3 or other games like horse and knockout.
We get teams and we set them up as they come in and, sign and pay their fees. And it's 3 people and they do a 15-minute game, and at the end, whoever wins, they move on to another team. Let's say one team on this court wins and another team wins on another court. They meet up and they play for the championship.
With basketball being an enjoyable sport, it was an obvious choice for this charity event.
A lot of people like basketball, and it's just one of those sports that everybody likes to play, and it's a good community sport because it involves a lot of people from all over.
The players may not have been the best, but at the end of the tournament, it was all for a good cause.
Foremost, it involves charity, so I think it was for abuse of women, so I want to definitely help out on that cause. That $5 to me is like nothing as long as it involves charity.
Overall, the Hoops for Hope was an successful event. The hospitality students were able to raise money for the Shade Tree while also giving students an opportunity to stack up on some community service hours. For Game On, I'm Jordan Harrison.
Thank you, Jordan. A very good cause and a chance to play some basketball as well. Now let's send it over to Donald, who is sitting down with UNLV Assistant Athletic Trainer Stacey Aaron. Guys?
Thanks, Austin. I'm joined today by UNLV Assistant Athletic Trainer Stacey Aaron. Stacey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. It's a pleasure to have you here on Game On.
Well, thank you.
Now, tell me a little bit something about athletic training that goes on with the athletes.
Well, what we are, we're healthcare professionals. So what we do is we're with the team pretty much all the time. I primarily work with the women's basketball team. So if they get hurt on the court, if they get sick, they come to me, and then I kind of triage to where they need to go, if they need to see our team physician, or if they just have some bumps and bruises that need to be fixed a little bit, then we do some rehab with them and try to keep them on the court as much as we can and keep them safe.
Oh, so I understand. So it's not so much as training as in helping them get bigger muscles or get faster. It's more of medicine and health.
Right. We do have a strength and conditioning staff that's separate from us, and they're the ones that work in the weight room trying to get them bigger, stronger, and faster. We're more like if they have bumps and bruises, aches and pains, if they get a sickness or something like that, then they come to me, and then, like I said, we triage them to where they need to be. If it's like a hamstring strain or something, then they come see me, and we do some rehab and some exercises to help fix that.
And for this fall and spring season, how has it been as far as you guys' record on athletes that need to be treated?
Pretty good. I think we have a pretty good relationship with our athletes. I think they know that we're there to help whatever they need, and know that we are there to keep them safe and healthy. And so, we have hardly any problems with anybody not trying to tell us something. Sometimes they're like, oh, I don't want to tell you because I want to play kind of thing. But, usually if we talk to them and educate them why we're here and we're here for their help, they do a pretty good job about coming and telling us what's going on.
So which sport do you often get most of the athletes that come from that need treatment?
My primary sport is women's basketball. We have 4 full-time staff members. We have 1 with football, 1 with men's basketball, and then 1 with men's soccer and swimming and diving. And then we have 7 other grad intern positions who are certified, but they're going here to get their master's, and they work with our other sports too. So usually each team has their own athletic trainer primarily.
Now, as an athletic trainer, I'm pretty sure you've had to have some education in the science of the human body and in health. So tell me a little bit about yourself and what education you've got.
I'm originally from Michigan, so I did my undergrad at Western Michigan University. When I went to school, there was 2 ways to become an athletic trainer. You could either do the internship route, which means you were more in the athletic training room getting the hands-on stuff, or you could go through an accredited program, which means that it's a little bit more classwork than you had to do. Nowadays, it's just the accredited program. They dropped the athletic train or the internship program. So you have to take 4 years. You have to major in athletic training, and then you have to sit for a national exam, and then get state licensed to practice as an athletic trainer. So it's a lot of anatomy and physiology and the rehab and the body and stuff like that. So.
Well, Stacey, I believe we're out of time. It has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
here
you.
on Game On. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's most appreciated. Here in Las Vegas, fighters try to find a place to meet and train. Recently, I went to investigate the Las Vegas Fight Club and get a taste of how they train and also what they do to help some youth here in the Valley. Have a look. There are numerous ways to impact the life of a child, but the Las Vegas Fight Club is striving to get at-risk youth on the right track through boxing and mixed martial arts.
We try to help kids stay off the street, keep them busy, you know. They get bullied at school, so the parents bring them here, try to teach them how to defend themselves so that they don't get bullied at school. And it's a program just to keep kids off the street.
And it's more than just learning self-defense. And learning boxing, the youth also encompass many life lessons. The youth enrolled in the program can also see the positive impact it has in themselves.
I love it. Before I started, you know, I would go to juvie like every weekend. My mom has to take off from her job, come get me. And since I started boxing, it changed my life.
It makes a big difference. I used to be overweight. I was like about 240 pounds. And I've lost those 40 pounds, and I'm still going down more.
I experienced a lot through my life. So I teach these kids, you know, because I've been there, the hard times, you know. So I try to teach them stuff that, you know, they could use in life.
Everybody that's around me, you know, they motivate me. They give me like all my dedication, hard work. You know, I just love it.
And even though the overall theme of the Las Vegas Fight Club is to teach boxing and mixed martial arts, the message that is spread here to the youth is that they can achieve anything they want in life as long as they do their best and give it all their effort. For Game On, I'm Donald Woods. You know, Austin, another thing that the instructor told me was that they, at the Fight Club, they are familiar with UNLV because they even have some football players here from UNLV go to train with them on the weekend. Yes.
That's awesome. So not only youth here in Las Vegas, but also UNLV athletes in general go there to train with them. That's pretty darn impressive.
Yeah.
What was your favorite experience about that whole story, I should say?
The whole story, just seeing the kids in their train. A lot of them, I hear, having bad situations at home. Some of them are even, in fact, there by court, you know, to fill community service time and stuff. So it's good, you know, that they're helping out the youth out here.
Right, exactly. Keeping them off the streets and giving them something to look forward to every week. Time now for our first break, but when we come back, I'll be sitting down with UNLV alum and now play-by-play broadcaster Byron Teach. Stay tuned.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That moment?
It was a moment that changed my life. I'd been training with my team for months, and now we had been called up for the first time. The real deal. Wildfires were getting dangerously close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
What you doing, Dad?
My favorite thing.
Really, Dad? What are you doing?
Paying bills. Every month a stack of them come, just as regular as the rain.
What's this one?
That's a special one, son. I pay it first.
How come?
It's money for my retirement account. I put some money aside each month, just like I was paying a bill.
Wouldn't you rather buy something?
I don't want to work forever, and I don't want you to have to support me in my old age. In a way, I'm buying peace of mind. I'm on the installment plan.
Something's not right.
My first symptoms were
constant tingling in my toes.
Double vision. They said you have multiple sclerosis.
Kind of had to get a grasp on reality.
I had to adapt and change very rapidly.
I had to learn how to drive with my hands. Yeah, that was interesting.
A symptom may cause you not to be able to do that anymore. And at one point, I wasn't able to do any of those.
Since I've been cycling, it's definitely helped my walking.
It's a fantastic opportunity to be working together with a common goal of curing MS, and sharing is the key.
Hey guys, welcome back from the break. Joined in the studio now by play-by-play broadcaster and UNLV alum Byron Teach. Byron, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Austin, for having me.
Of course. Now let's talk about your time here at UNLV before we go into the great world of broadcasting. How were your experiences here at UNLV, and how did they shape you and help you along the way going into the field of broadcasting?
Well, that's one of the main reasons why I did the journalism degree. It was because I wanted to have that degree behind me as I pursued a sportscasting career. And along the way, I actually had some opportunities. I helped out with the radio broadcast for both football and basketball back in 2009, and then actually in 2009 also I did a game with the late Bob Bloom, who is an icon in the media world and in the UNLV world.
Now, after UNLV, calling games now for basic high school, CSN, and most recently now softball. Am I correct? Yeah, this got the call for this weekend to do my very first softball weekend. So looking forward to that. Started reading up yesterday on some of the storylines, and so it should be good. Now, the difference for broadcasting has to be obviously also in the field of athletics. High school athletics, college athletics, what's the difference in calling games like that? There's not a lot of difference. You kind of have to go more of like the positive route. You can't be too biased, and you have to kind of be not have too much constructive criticism, I like to say. Kind of point out all the positives that they're doing, like, that was a great held block on the run play, and so you kind of do that more. With college and pros, you can kind of do more constructive criticisms, like that was just a hideous block that, he had just failed miserably. Yeah, he had an early invitation to a block party, I guess, so. Exactly. Now, what do you do when you're setting up for broadcast? There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people don't really, I guess, respect as much. How do you prepare yourself for a broadcast, and how do you go over notes and stuff like that? Well, actually, I do pretty good the night before, or a couple days before the game. I'll go on the internet, research the two teams. If it's a team like for basic that I've covered and I've seen throughout the whole season, not a lot goes into them as much as I do for the away team or the team that we're playing. So I research, look at the storylines. Then on game day, I'll go and I'll interview the coaches. More importantly, the head coach for the visiting team or whatever. Right. And then, that kind of bases my broadcast off of that. And when I do my intro, and when I did my basic broadcast, I bought all my equipment myself. Really? Okay, so it was all your stuff. I funded the money and then pitched it to the high school. And of course, it was free for one. Right. And since I'm an alumni, I pretty much have a red carpet every time I go there. So exactly, everybody's willing to talk to you at that point. Absolutely. Now, where can people check you out if you're calling games for basic and CSN? Well, CSN, it's kind of on hiatus. My contact at CSN, it's not there anymore. But yeah, I covered games when Tim Chambers was the head coach over there. But as far as basic goes, they can go on network1sports.com and click on basic as a radio station. Click on the headphones that say "Listen Live" and enjoy a proud alumni at his best. You've covered a plethora of sports. What is your favorite to broadcast? I like football and basketball the most. I actually got to do a playoff basic game with Scott Bemis from Channel 8 this past season. That's probably the highlight of my broadcast career so far. And, basketball's quick, up and down the floor. But obviously you have to pay attention a lot more in basketball than. Absolutely. And football's a little bit slower, but it makes you know and appreciate your knowledge of the game every time. And then one more question for you. Future aspirations, where do you hope to go past UNLV here and on later in your career? Well, shoot, I hope I'm sitting courtside on CBS or something calling the Rebels and Cal game sometime, I idolize Kevin Harlan and those guys, so I hope to be in their seat one day. Perfect. Well, Byron, thank you so much for coming in studio and joining us today. Time now for a quick break, but when we come back, more of Game On. Stay tuned.
You could choose to join a gang. You could try the latest drugs. You could even choose to drop out of school. You can try to avoid the difficulties in life with a quick fix, or you can face them head on. She did. Make the right choices today and be ready for the challenges tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. Fact is, if you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. 1 in 5 Americans is likely to develop a form of skin cancer during their lifetime. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. It could be the save of a lifetime. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Welcome back from the break. Earlier in the show, we touched on some training in the Las Vegas Valley with the Las Vegas Fight Club, and it seems to be the theme on the show today. But this next story will surely kick you into shape. Reporter Farron Enos has more on Sin City Boot Camp.
Participants in the Sin City Boot Camp's 30-day challenge not only met their goals, but shed their winter coats just in time for pool season. Trainer Joshua Konachek says the challenge focuses on eating healthy under the strict rules of the Real Food Diet.
What we do with the Real Foods Diet, we're teaching people to eat real foods and not, processed stuff that they just get from the store in a can. They're eating meats and vegetables, and they're just getting much more healthy.
Participants combine this diet with exercise, and some challengers, including Greg Gonzalez, felt a major difference.
The first couple of days I couldn't think straight. I felt like I had a fog over me, and then after that, perfect.
Greg also felt that his new diet was life-changing.
I'm going to keep to it mostly. I might integrate a little bit of rice and some grains back, but I'm not going to go back to the way I was, to where I was buying microwave lunches.
Many of the participants are happy with their results they've seen and plan to incorporate some of these techniques they've learned into their daily routines.
I got to cook dinners more, use more healthier ingredients. I'm probably going to stick to mostly the paleo diet almost the rest of my life.
Just making better food choices with it, and I think that's the biggest thing that we're teaching them, is just to be more cautious of what they're putting into their body.
For Game On, this is Farron Enos.
Thanks, Farron. Now let's send it over to Austin, who is sitting down with Marcia de Castroverde.
Thanks, Donald. Joined here by Rebel Girls head coach, I guess just coach, Marcia de Castroverde. Marcia, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with the national championship. You guys are national champions. How does it feel? How was the experience?
Well, obviously it feels amazing. We've only competed 6 years, and out of those 6 years, 5 of those years we were in the top 5 with some of the biggest schools in our country, and some schools that had competed for way longer than we've competed. So it was obviously a huge accomplishment for us, and we were really proud of ourselves. And the experience is priceless, and only, the 24 of us that were there can really, remember the experience for what it was and all that hard work that went into it, and dedication and practice, so.
The 2 major sports here at UNLV, football and basketball, now over.
Mm-hmm.
What do the Rebel Girls do now?
What do we do now? Oh, we're busy all year round. We have one of the longest seasons on campus. And so now that we're done with football and competition and basketball, we'll be fundraising over the summer. And we do a lot of youth camps to raise money to help support our budget.
And then now we talked about fundraising a little bit also that you guys are doing. Let's talk about what you guys do here in the community.
Well, in the community, as far as fundraising, we run those summer camps, and you can get all the information at UNLVrebelgirls.com. But as far as community service type of stuff, we pretty much cover it all. People call us from all around the community. We make sure to be there. I actually found out today that we won the award for, out of all, there's 17 sports on campus, and with cheer and dance 19. And we actually placed first in the most community service hours. So we're really proud of ourselves.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, besides being a Rebel Girl coach, what do you do outside of the Rebel Girls? What's life like for Coach de Castroverde outside of the Rebel Girls?
Life outside of Rebel Girls. I tell the team, and we laugh about it. We're kind of like a family because we're together so much. So they're my non-biological children. And so on top of those children, I also have 4 of my own children. And I just really focus on them and being a mom and being there for them. So
Perfect. Well, Casperity, thank you so
Yes.
much for joining us in studio
Yes.
today. Be sure to check out the Rebel Girls all year round because that's how they
Right.
get involved in the community. Time now for a quick break, but when we come back, it's your upcoming events and this week's Player of the Week. Stay tuned.
At what age is the color that your skin was meant to be no longer beautiful? Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults 15 to 29. And one person dies from melanoma every hour. It's time. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
If you could see anything in the world, what would it be?
I'd love to see Paris.
I like to see cupcakes falling from the sky.
My daughter, married and happy.
I want to see things the way I used to.
Chances are, someone you love may one day be affected by macular degeneration or glaucoma. Log on to seeabettertomorrow.org or call 1-800-437-2423 to learn about glaucoma and macular degeneration. Call 1-800-437-2423 or log on to seeabettertomorrow.org.
I just want to see more of the things I love.
Well, it's that time of the week again, the part where we honor an area athlete for their contributions on the court or in the field. This week's Player of the Week is softball player Amanda Oliveto.
As a pitcher at UNLV, Amanda Oliveto helped lead her team to victory in their 3-game series against Fresno State. She had a .66 earned run average over the course of the 3 games. Oliveto started for her first time on Friday and tossed all 7 frames of that game. She struck out 8 players and allowed only 1 earned run off of 6 hits in the 4-1 victory. The junior from Semi Valley, California was named Mountain West's Pitcher of the Week. This is the 6th time in her career that Oliveto has earned this honor, including 2 times in this year alone. Amanda Oliveto, you are Game On's Player of the Week.
Thank you, Bianca, and congrats to Amanda Oliveto for being this week's Player of the Week. Now it's the time of the show where we take a look at what's upcoming in the world of UNLV athletics. The men's baseball team finish up their 3-game series against San Diego State tomorrow night at Earl E. Wilson Stadium. Then they will be back on the road to play Arizona State April 24th. And after that, they travel to New Mexico to play the Lobos in a 3-game series on the 26th through the 28th. The women's softball team will finish out the month in Reno as they will play the Wolfpack in a 3-game series April 26th through the 28th. The men's tennis team is getting ready for the Mountain West Championships in Colorado Springs April 25th through the 27th. And the women's tennis team has at least one more game tomorrow morning against Air Force, and they also head to the Mountain West Championships April 25th through the 27th. The men's golf team is out of action until the Mountain West Championships at Omni Tucson National Resort May 3rd through the 5th. The women's golf team Mountain West Championships begin next week, April 25th through the 27th. Finally, women's track and field will participate in the Steve Scott Invitational April 26th and 27th, which is the last event before the Mountain West Championships. Now, Donald, obviously a lot of sporting events taking place. What are you most excited about?
I'm most excited about the Mountain West Championships for golf.
We talked about it a little bit earlier. Haven't been out to catch a golf event yet, but
No.
something we want to look into.
No, I have never been out to a golf event or so much as watched one. So for my first experience, I would like to see my very own Rebels.
We were also talking about the softball team. They've been playing well of late. You need to get out there and catch a softball game as well.
Yeah, I think I will.
And upcoming this week, the NFL Draft, obviously something that's going to be going on nationwide. You know that John Lutalele, our linebacker here at UNLV, will be hopefully drafted sometime during that stretch. So he could be a very very keen star here for UNLV in the upcoming week.
Yeah, I wish him the best of luck.
And then also, Mountain West Championships all over the board. And we talked about golf, talked about softball. Let's talk a little about baseball. What are you seeing from the men's baseball team this year?
For the men's baseball team, I've seen a definite improvement from what they've had over the recent years.
Right.
I'm looking forward to seeing them boosted up, and I hope they get more advanced in this season.
A couple of series left, obviously, here at UNLV. Something to look forward to as they finish out the year strong. You worked for them a couple times with UNLV-TV, correct?
Actually, for those last few production times, I did not, but I was able to watch the broadcast live, and so can you from their website.
Perfect. Well, time for a quick break, but when we get back, our final thoughts and a look forward to next week's show. Stay with us.
For others, it may have just been a summer job. But for me, it was training. Now I'm an Air Force pararescueman, and my job is to save lives. Make the right choices today and be ready for the challenges tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Winston, just one more inning, Grandma.
Ever notice how many things today kids can do without actually moving? A whole lot of things their parents used to do the hard way. So many kids' activities today seem to leave out the activity part, which makes exercise even more important for children. In fact, new research tells us the best time to enhance bone development is during childhood and adolescence. And just getting children to walk an extra 35 minutes a day could spare them the pain of thinning bones later in life. Healthy bones come from healthy habits. Encourage your kids to get up, get out, and get moving.
Hello. Hey, Grandma, how about another grape soda?
A public service message on building strong bones for kids from the Pediatric Orthopedic Society of North America and the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Welcome back from the break. Well, Don, we've got a lot of training, athletes, everything coming in the studio today. And next week, we have a football coach coming in, so something to look forward to as well, right?
Yeah.
Something that we obviously have been excited about. Anything you're excited about in the upcoming week?
Well, in the upcoming week, actually, because I went to the Las Vegas Fight Club, they actually invited me down there. They said anytime I want to train or just do some fighting, just come down there. I think I might take that up.
You're going to get more involved, and especially can you help some youth down there as well? So that's something exciting.
Yeah, I can help some of the youth down there. A lot of them was in sort of the same situation I was when I was their age, and I can be a vital help to them.
Perfect. Well, good. Thanks, John. Well, that does it for this week's show. If you would like to catch up on past episodes of Game On, all you have to do is go to unlvtv.unlv.edu. I'm Austin Enney.
And I'm Donald Woods. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, have a good one, Las Vegas.